Hi everyone, this is John Michael, and right now we're looking at the new scape of the jungle vivarium. So what I really did is I had two plants and I removed a lot of the driftwood. So the first plant I had was this one. I don't know exactly what type of plant it is, but the mother plant of this plant is kept in my room, and it will produce a lot of nice pink flowers and have a more bushy look than presently. Presently it is in a pretty rough shape, but this is simply because the strong root system, as you can see right here, it was only living out of, well, with some water, because it was in a coffee mug for kind of a long time now, and you can clearly see it was feeling trapped. All of those, well, all of this is simply just branches that I cut out of the main plant, and I put them all in the mug of coffee, well, the rinse mug of coffee, not inside coffee, but there was water in there, and all the little stem and such, they kind of all fusionate in a solid, really thick root mass. So I decided to simply plant it in there, since it was bothering me and my mother in my room. And actually it wasn't even in my room anymore, it was in the other room, the computer room, where well, nobody really cared about it. So I decided, well, if we're going to throw it away, let's get it of good use instead. And the other plant I had is this plant right here, and this is actually rose. So that plant was like kind of broke up, so I decided, why throw it away again? I can probably save it in there, and if not, it will be a good source of food. So now there is a lot of place for plants growth, now that I actually remove a lot of branch, and driftwood and everything. Well, not driftwood, but well, you know, some wood that I originally intended to use in my aquarium, but then realized I couldn't really. So there is still 1, 2, and 3 branch part, except for worm. So we can see the butt of a worm right here, a big round worm. There isn't any animals or insect in there, so I'm going to catch something later this week, probably in a few days. So if you want to, if you still want to suggest me what you really want to see in this, you still can. I'm probably going to well, I'm probably going to put some grasshoppers in there, but grasshoppers are compatible with other types of insect, and they can become prey or even predator. There isn't a lot of people that know that grasshoppers can really be cannibalistic and hunters in times when they are really hungry. But in a vivarium like this one, with multiple grass and multiple plants, grasshoppers will probably be fine. They will probably munch on all the grass. I can always put more grass in there, and the rose might be attacked by a lot of insects, so this is why I put the rose in there, so it can be a source of food. Sorry. This plant it is kind of like an anubias, in the sense that it have really thick leaves, and in the same way, not a lot of fish eat anubias, not a lot of insects will eat this plant, and the same goes for this big leafy thing. And this big leafy thing, I really don't know the name even in French. It is pretty common for decoration, outdoor decoration, for gardeners, and well, you know, just regular people like us. But yeah, it kind of remind me of jungle voles, since it's kind of look like really big grass like this one. And the last one, this one, actually I remember the name now. It is a daisy. In French we call them marguerite. So I didn't knew what was the name for daisies, but now I know. I actually just remember what daisy was, and this will be like a really nice yield daisy. So yeah, a lot of plants. I'm really satisfied with the look right now. One day, well, later in the summer there will be more plants coming out over there, so it could be a really interesting vivarium. I could add some ladybugs in there, since the rows there, I could create a little colony of astrids. I believe this is how you call them. So really little bugs that produce some honeydew, I think you call it in English. Then again, I don't really know, but you know, it's a little insect that suck all the oh, how you call it in English? You know, the thing that inside the leaves and everything that produce the photosynthesis. In French we call it sève. I don't know how you you call it in English, but it's kind of the blood of the plant. So the astrid will suck on that. Then the ants will cultivate the astrid, because when the astrid poop, well, the poop is really tasty and for the ants. So the ants will protect the astrid, and the ladybugs will eat the astrid. So this is why ants dislike ladybugs, and this is why ants and ladybugs are in constant war. So the ladybugs actually really smell bad for repulsing ants, because ants, they are kind of blind, or they really have a pretty bad vision. So they are orienting themselves really with pheromones and the sense of smell. So when you're hunting something that smells really bad, that can disturb you in a high level, and this is really a good way for the ladybug to protect itself from the ants. But sometimes ants just overcome the ladybug and like force it to go away. Anyway, I was rambling, but yeah, I could put some ladybugs and astrid in there, maybe even ants. See what that come down for. I could put some spiders, but spiders, I have another container that is really good for spiders, so I might do spiders later in the year, like in September or something. In this thing, sadly this thing, it is becoming really old, so the glass isn't as clear as it once was. But trust me, I used that thing for so many years now. Really worth to buy it. and I keep a lot of spiders, and I have a lot of reproduction of spiders in this thing. So I think I'm going to use this for spiders and use this for like grasshoppers and ladybugs and astrids and maybe ants even. The other tank I could use for ants colony as well. I just have to find like a log full of ants, bring it back here, put it in there, and there we go. We have a colony of ants that will. Well, the last year when I did that, ants were aggressive, but not enough to kill all the spiders. So the spiders had like a region of the aquarium, and the ants had another region, and really it was really interesting since when the wool spiders had some babies, the babies are basically just really tiny ants, tiny spiders, tiny version of the adult. So when the spiders confronted the ants, it wasn't the big ants, it was like the Argentina ants, and sometimes you would see some ants transporting the dead body of a spider, and sometimes you would see in the jungle of grass and everything, you would see actually some wool spiders or even crab spiders with the dead body of ant in their mouth. So putting some ants in there could be really interesting, because at this point, since the spiders, well, they're spiders, you know, they're quite interesting, but in the same time they don't evolve that much, and this aquarium right now, it is pretty boring at this point, since we pretty much see everything we had to see, until there will be some reproduction. But yeah, adding some ants in there, or maybe even in this vivarium, could be pretty interesting. But I had an invasion of ants in my room actually later this year, like in April or something, and now I'm not as fascinated about ants as I should be, in the sense that well, in my house we're doing a war against the ants, so adding some ants in there, I'm not so pleased about this anymore. But yeah, if I find a praying mantis, this could be really cool. And the fact is also that right now we are still kind of early in the summer, so most insect that I want to put in there, they're still super young. We will have to wait until like July or something until really interesting adult insect will come. But in the same time, it will be quite interesting to have juveniles and see them grow in there. I could put some caterpillar as well. Really, there is a multiple option in this vivarium as well as this one, because I don't have all the insect I want in this yet. This one is full of opportunity, and right now the paludarium is empty. So thanks for watching, and I will see you real soon. Bye.